Hello and welcome. This is Puneeth Suraana and you are listening to Galata. Before I get into my first question, I would love it if you could introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. Hello, everybody. This is Kushal Murthy, founder and CEO at Sapientury. I've been an EdTech passionate entrepreneur for the past 6 years. Built my first venture called Project Vimana, which then converted into Vimana Foundation, which I ran for the next 3 years. Happened to be the test bed for my next 3 other ventures that didn't really fly. But with all the experience that I've backed down together, Sapientury happens to be the 7th venture that has stood really strong for the last 3.5 years, despite all the EdTech winter and everything going down. And I'm really proud to see what I can do for the education community more.
Kushal, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
The usual first question I start out with is, what were the conversations around the dinner table when you're growing up?
My mom started studying after I started going to school. She resumed her school. Funny part, she went to 9th grade when I was in 1st grade because she resumed her school. So there was a lot of talk about her education as well. It's not just my education. It's her education. She happened to start from 9th grade, graduated in Bachelor's of Engineering in Computer Science. So you can totally imagine, both the education tracks running at the same time. So were we competing? Sort of, yeah, but I was not cooking. I was not cleaning a lot as much as she did. So today, matured enough, I can understand the juggling that she had to do. So there were conversations around these, I would say. Thanks for that.
I've had multiple guests on the show who have had their parents as teachers in the same school. What's it like? Was she in the same school?
No, she was not in the same school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was it like having your mom study in parallel with you in your childhood?
It helped me understand a little more about owning my self-responsibilities when mom is not necessarily at home having that leisure time. She's not going to everyday work, that she can come back and take care of home because she also has got homework like me to do, right? She has academics to do, she has project work to do. I think these were some things that when I think about it now, seems like, wow, that's a lot of juggling happening there.
Yeah.
Taking care of family, taking care of a kid who's growing up, and also going to study. And this is not like an evening school or something. This is a regular college that she went to, a regular study that she did, and that was fun.
That's hard to imagine, dude, because having a growing up, you're the only kid?
Yeah, I'm the only kid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Luckily,
Yeah.
that played well.
That played well, and then still studying,
Yeah.
doing an engineering degree in parallel with running a
Correct.
family.
Yes.
Kudos to your mom.
Yes, definitely.
When I usually like to understand, did you have early entrepreneurial experience growing up? In your school, in your college, any projects, any place where you made quick buck? Yeah.
Well, entrepreneurship or business was far from my imagination. Entrepreneurship was never the word that I had heard until I came to Bangalore. But I was sort of always a curious kid. I always wanted to be a scientist. Very creative. The sort of kids who would always remove the tape, remove the cassette, remove the CD, understand how things work. So I really had a knack for understanding it. The first ever time I wanted to create something project-like that made real meaningful sense was Google Science Fair, 7th grade. Google had this competition across the world calling for student projects, and they would fly you to whatever part of US. That sounded cool, sounded as an opportunity. So I started working on building a perpetual machine. Now I understand very well that it's not possible to build without any energy loss. But back then, I started buying kits with little pocket money that I started getting. And I think that was the first time I ever built something. And after I came to Bangalore, there was a much better exposure, understanding what's happening out there in the STEM, right? The science, technology, engineering, and maths, and how some of the people in other countries have the concept of STEM lab at home. People have a small laboratory with a couple of kids, like how they start with young people being Lego kit owners. Some people have STEM kits in their home, and they have a small laboratory in their garage or wherever that they go do their experiments. And that was sort of again fascinating to me. I started collecting a couple of these components, which later happened to be one of the foundations that I ran.
Oh, these are the kits that you assemble and you figure out how things work?
Correct. Not everything is guided. You'll have to build things on your own. Sort of like a Lego kit without any instructions. Pieces, you build it and show what you can do.
So what are the initial things that you attempted to build?
One was the perpetual machine. The second one was solenoid-based sort of perpetual machine, but something that I thought can generate energy. This was during the 12th grade. And then we entered engineering. This time we took something more audacious, coming from an aerospace background, something in lines of drones. We had sounds funny today when I think about it. Quadcopter, octocopter was what it was. Our goal was to put a human on a drone, and by the time we graduated...
How many attempts did you make? I studied at PS, so engineering students would boast about, we crashed 4, and this is the first one.
Okay.
How many did you crash? How many did you... Until you get one?
We never broke any because none of it were college funded. Did we crash a lot? Yes. Did we break a lot of blades? Yes. But we took care of all our kits because we paid for each one of those kits every single month, like as if it's a baby flying in the sky, running right below it. We didn't break any.
Those were expensive.
They were expensive. Yeah. They were expensive. These are not the kits that you can just buy out of Flipkart or Amazon. We're speaking about 2016, 2017. So you had to source each and every single kit, wait for the delivery to come. Every time a small propeller comes, it's as if some big gift has arrived home. So it was really a fun time building drones. We never put a human. We never put a rat. We never put any animal on it. But we learned the science. We learned the art. We learned engineering things. I think that's where everything for me started. Eventually I learned the word startup and entrepreneurship because I started attending some exhibitions to show some drones that we were building.
Tell me more.
We started showing off these drones only to realize there are a ton of other people out there trying to do something. They were not all students when we started going to exhibitions. There was this one company from IIT Kharagpur or Kanpur called Tech Eagle. They're still there. They're doing fantastic work. So back then they were our inspiration from India, whose a student team evolved into a startup. But our bigger inspiration was a company called eHang that actually had a drone taxi company.
eHang.
eHang. eHang. eHang. 811 to be precise. It was also an octocopter that already had multiple test pilots completed in Dubai, and they were ready to launch. And there was one April Fool video also, either Ola or Uber.
I know Ola did this. I tried booking and I'm like,
correct.
Fell for it. 500 rupees to get a chopper.
So sort of these things were like the funny things that we had while we were building. Our goal was simple. You build a drone, make it fly. Soon after that, you work to see if you can transport food by working with Swiggy or Zomato, which never happened, but that is how we put out our plan. Then you can see if you can transport health organs, make it more mission critical. Then put a rat on the dog because that's what we aerospace engineers did. When we wanted to fly out, we put a dog and we put it on moon, right? Before we can put a human. And then we thought the fifth step has to be to put a human on drone. None of these 4 other steps happened. The first step did happen. Team building did happen. I built a team from multiple colleges while I was still in second semester itself. who all believed in the young kid and say, okay, he's building drone taxi. Let my name also be there. But it was more than name. They really brought in a lot of resources. We taught most of the things by just watching on YouTube. I'm so thankful that we chose a mission that was so tough that made us really go beyond what our average peers were doing in class, because we are very focused. So we learned CAD, we learned programming, we learned how to go about electronics, how do we go for starting from soldering, going on till PCB design, all by ourselves. And eventually, it didn't work out. We realized the gestation period is around 11 to 15 years in aerospace, and for professionals, that too, right? So we would not be able to fly. Then we converted the same thing into something called Vimana Foundation. So Project Vimana, that was one project, became Vimana Foundation. The way Vimana worked was simple. You get library of books, right? Vimana Foundation was library of project kits. So you borrow a kit, you use it, you build project, dismantle, return back, borrow the next one. So you're not paying 8,000, 10,000 for each kit to purchase only in final year, and you wait for the final year to happen. Now you're paying around 350 every single month as subscription. You're getting team members as well, very tough. Generally your college friends that you make might not have the like mind to build something. But now here we are meeting every single week, every single day also, particularly in PAS, RV, these colleges, people met up every single day. And that was a value proposition back then. Project Vimana converted into Vimana Foundation. Worked fantastically well for the next 3 years. More than 700 people that I was able to work directly with. A couple of them were my seniors, humble enough to join us and guide through what we are trying to do.
So where did you house this library of projects? This shared STEM library, where was like the storage space? How did you do the borrowing, the lending, the returning? No, that's a lot.
That's a lot, no doubt. Today, when I think of an entrepreneur, like an entrepreneur, I would like it to have a good inventory management system with a good warehouse. But that's not how it was. It was there with everybody. It was like, I would say, it worked very much like a blockchain network, right?
It was on a Google Sheet.
It was on Google Sheet. It was on Google Sheet. It was distributed inventory with everybody, and there is no borrowing fee, right? Like library you borrow, but this is subscription. So is the kid there? Well, it is there. Who is it with? It is with that person. So everything is there on an Excel sheet. And if something is broken, well, is there a penalty, or has it been used multiple times? You just deprecate it and write it off. Or something breaks, we write it off. So that's sort of how we managed. But there was money coming in every single month because new students wanted to come. And every student was recruited in. We wanted to look for commitment. We wanted the really energetic people to be there.
How did you filter for that?
Very simple. You just ask a couple of aptitude tests and then an interview by the own team members. And we would ask, would you love to work with that person? Then work for 1 week, sort of like probation. If they really like working with them, if they're not just talking people, but doing people, they happen to make the cut.
You did that for 700 students?
Yeah, 700 students over time. I was speaking about 3 years though.
Okay.
Yeah. But these are 700 people who were paying the subscription fee. We have conducted multiple other competitions, multiple other events, and we've touched more than 2,500 people, paid events itself.
And so mostly I assume the final year students would be the one who would be picking this up because they have a final year project and they have the internship. So the 6 months is where they use this.
You would be very surprised. It's generally first year or second semester students.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the big reason, very sure. The big reason is every time a college student goes from 12th grade, pre-university to university, they join with an energy to do something. They want to do something. And second year, it's gone. Second year, it gets killed. In college culture, they don't want to do much. Yes. The ones who want to do something, maybe they end up in a good college club or something, and they get very siloed into their college club. But the first year students, they don't get easily accepted into college clubs. Even if they are asked to do documentation, reading the whole time. But here I said, I'm going to make you fly a drone another 2 weeks. Are you ready to work for those 2 weeks, day in, day out? And the ones who said yes, they are ready to come in. So a lot of people joined in first and second year, and they happened to relieve in third year. The few who retained happened to grow as project team leaders and such.
Oh, so you had about 2 years of
Yeah.
engagement with the students.
Yeah.
Nice.
Couple of them, yes.
Why stop it?
COVID happened. COVID happened. We having to meet physically was not happening. So we took the same mission that we had in Vimana Foundation, and we built Sapientury.
Oh, and did RV support you in any way? Because they have their own incubation cell. I think they have their maker space also now. Lots happening with RV.
Yes.
Oh, cut this part. Okay, no.
It's a very good question. There is this group on WhatsApp called Startup Ignition Team that I'm part of.
Startup Ignition Team.
Yeah. I did not build it. Some
SIT.
SIT. Yes. There is a line recently I read. I don't know if it's quote unquote, but it goes something like, "The world is ready to give. Are you daring to ask?" Something like this. Probably I was not daring enough to ask in RV college, just because I didn't want my college to know everything that I am part of by bunking classes. I had around 53% when I graduated out, and I was afraid that they're gonna curb whatever I'm doing back then. But if I think about it, I should have asked. They definitely would have supported a lot. It's a student mentality to be really alienated by the college management, because somewhere the insecurity is there. So if there is another Kushal trying to build something in campus, I would say, hey, you should speak to your college, convince them, give the security and confidence that you're up to something, and make them give the waiver. I was doing that with my HOD, and he did waive off a lot of attendance. He did grant that, but I could have been more vocal with my friends, with the management, and rather fetch some more support from the college.
Yeah, I agree. It's always good to be shameless and ask.
Oh, yes.
Ask the top person, the top girl, or the top woman, or the top vice chancellor, or the chancellor, or the owner. They will give you unparalleled bandwidth that even your money can't buy.
Yeah. And even if they don't, it's okay. They might say no once, twice, thrice. It doesn't really hurt to ask. Like, there's almost nothing to lose.
Yeah, and it's good if they say no, and then a few weeks or months later you end up in trouble.
Yeah.
You will not have worse trouble because now they know you.
Yeah,
they know you are
True.
taking initiatives, so they won't get kicked out of college.
Correct. Very right.
So you've just out of college, you hit COVID. What is the insight of Sapientury? How do I say that?
Okay, it stands for Sapiens Century.
Sapiens Century.
Yes, it stands for educating sapiens of the century for the century. So you put that together, you get Sapientury.
Sapientury. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the insight behind Sapientury?
When we started Sapientury, it was to carry the mission that we had in Vimana. We used to ask, you're an engineer. Can you engineer anything at all? And we used to say, I'm going to give you the kit. Can you build a project and show this is what you can do as an engineer? So when COVID happened, we wanted to take the same thing, but mix the digital transformation into it. So we streamed courses online that taught them how to do C programming, Python programming as one track. Another track, how to use programming to build projects, to bring the dead things into locomotives, to how to make projects that move. So that you're not seeing a black screen with a Fibonacci series or whatever pyramids that you're building on black screen, but you're building things that come to life, right? And it was fantastic because 8 hours of Zoom classes, these students now getting something hands-on, students really loved it. And that's how we got started, converting the same mission that we had. We called that we are entering the EdTech market. But later we realized it's a subset called hobby tech, to be very precise.
Yeah. So was Vimana Foundation ever profitable?
No, it was a non-profit organization.
No. Okay. And was it sustainable on its own?
Yes, it was sustainable. Because it was getting fair subscription and nobody was drawing salary.
And how did you decide on 350 rupees? per month?
Back then it costed 350 rupees for a Book My Show ticket or a Mac Maharaja on McDonald's.
Really?
Yes.
That was
yes,
the benchmark?
Yes. So we said, if you can pay for that and if you can save that every single month, I'm going to transform your career. I'm talking with that student mindset, but that was really good marketing when I think of it today as an entrepreneur, because it's so simple to communicate. What can go viral is what's easy to communicate among people. So it's the cost of Mac Maharaja.
And how did you get Sapientury going? Did you partner with colleges? Did you reach out to the students that are already there in Vimana Foundation? How did you get that initial bunch of...
The GTM was very easy for us, fantastically easy, because of the previous network that we had built in Vimana Foundation. A lot of my first few customers were the people that Vimana had rejected. Right? So we reached out to them and we said, hey, I know you wanted to come in, Pal, but you had not done anything in your past. So how about you do this? And somebody else would probably be interested to hire you in. It could be your college club that's building solar vehicle, or it could be something that's building rocket. What are you going to tell them when they are going to interview you? So by these kids learn programming and then showcase to them, this is the project that you have built. So we had a lot of people who we had rejected, right? 700. So we had around 17,000 students that we had rejected. So out of them, we got our initial few customers. Our conversion rates were not great necessarily because our marketing approaches were not good. We were not trained to be sales folks, but it was fine. We still happened to get our first 100 customers without any ad spend, without any specialized marketing budget, I would say.
And how did you build that initial team? Even in college, even now?
College, it was simple. I'm going to put a man on a drone and make it fly. Who want to be on my team? A WhatsApp forward just went across. All my people from Chaitanya had joined different colleges. It went across. People started filling Google Forms. And then I started taking phone calls. Whoever I hired in, I told them, hey, you're going to be part of the team. And little did they know it's a startup and everything, right? They're just joining a project team. So we used to say, I believe that in your college there's more talent who is yet to apply. So could you circulate more? And they happened to circulate. It was a sort of a snowball effect. We're not speaking, again, really huge numbers. We're speaking numbers of 480 people who had applied over a 3-week period when I first rolled out a Project Vimana form across maybe 6 colleges.
Yeah, in college it's easy to get that number in. But then to get them to be dedicated and stay working,
yes.
So it's a whole different game.
So true.
Yeah. How did you crack that?
Well, we got in 12 members when we got in, and then 8 were retained over the next 5 months, purely based on proof of work, proof of dedication. And especially there was this one guy, he keeps still saying it. He was from Marathali. He went to New Horizon or BMS, I guess. And
from Marathali to New Horizon or BMS?
New Horizon, I guess. And he used to tell, his name is Harsha, he used to tell, if I can travel to PES University from Marathali, boom, that's my dedication. I'm going to be there. I'm traveling from one part of Bangalore to other part of Bangalore, not for my college. My college is New Horizon next to my home, but I'm coming to your college because majority of people are there. That's my dedication. After that, I'm going to do anything. And this guy happened to go get himself, pay out some 25,000 rupees into a professional CAD certification because the project needed it. So people started manifesting. They knew what to speak to their parents.
They actually put in their own money.
They put in their own money. Because they start seeing their career growth. They started seeing purpose. Whether the drone flies or not is not what they were looking for. What they were seeing is we are part of a team. The team is headed on to something. And I'm the CAD guy. I'm the computer science guy. I'm the electronics guy. So putting that into people was probably an early gift that I had as a leader. And I'm humbled and honored that these are all people of my age. Some of them are elder to me as well, but they were ready to listen in, pay in the vision, and continue working, even though they knew it's really tough to do it.
Or why not go for placement?
Why not go?
Because you had something that you built, you had some proof of work.
So Vimana Foundation was the second venture, Project Vimana converted. And then I happened to build 3 more on campus. The 4th one happened to be something on the lines of aluminum can refurbishment. Swiftly put, 10 rupees, you get Coke in a glass bottle, or 12 rupees today. 20 rupees, same amount of Coke in plastic bottle. 45 rupees in aluminum can. We ask why, and it's not always premium positioning. It's also how people deal with aluminum can, the complete logistics. And coming from aerospace, aluminum is like a gold material for us. We build all the planes with aluminum. So we wanted to use aluminum a little differently. Can we see refurbishment as an option? And we built something. This was supported by Indian Institute of Science and Boeing. And Boeing did happen to say, hey, we're going to give you a pre-placement offer if you're ready to join in. This was in 5th semester itself. And Boeing, it's like a big gift for aerospace students. But what I eventually realized is aerospace is probably not my thing. I want to be in the space of education. And I think because of Vimana Foundation,
You saw early results?
I saw early results. One is results in outcomes of business or outcomes of operations. It's also how much I used to feel satisfied every time a student who worked in Vimana came back and said, hey, this project I won. We used to go to competitions at IIT Bombay, Kharagpur, Madras. Many competitions I was not winning necessarily. My team members used to win, and they used to come back and say, hey, thanks for doing this. And
that funded also the next.
Yeah, that's funded also. So that felt really satisfying. It felt like an achievement of mine. And I like being in that education space, making impact for other people. So I keep telling, even now in Sapientury, we could be in shoe selling business and making a lot of money with the marketing that I can possibly do. But I think we want to be in the education business a little more longer and continue focused on impact.
Yeah, you don't want to sell shoes, but you want to put people on their feet.
Yeah.
So, good.
I like that.
Why choose to work with institutions like NSRCL, TIE, and others when you have so many colleges that you could partner with and grow? Why choose to work with these institutes?
We do have 46, 47 institutional partners that we work with, right from our university to even Soundarya, like I was mentioning earlier. So a couple of institutions. We see TIE, KDEM, Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, NSRCL Incubation. These are the people who actually acted like our springboards. NSRCL gave the incubation. TIE, there is a wonderful competition called TIE University Pitch Fest. We were regional winners and then global social impact winners. So the amount of fame and the spotlight and eventually the funding mentorship that we got because of TIE is really huge. And when it comes to KDEM, my mentor comes from KDEM. So these are some reasons where existing relationships are there, and we want to nurture those relationships. Sometimes it's not really well aligned, but that's where we try to understand their agenda and shape our agenda alongside. But when it comes to running the business itself, our main channel partnerships come through institutions itself.
Yeah. Because you have mostly interns that you work with. How does the money work? How does the business work?
Okay. We have pivoted a lot with multiple EdTechs collapsing. We had a foundational understanding that even though we are not making a lot of money, we want to have a model that clearly showcases career tech is what Sapientury is. That means every product that the customer is paying money for, there is a career outcome being generated. So we shifted away from hobby tech to career tech. The way today we work is, if Galata Productions want to hire a multimedia intern today, you go to any college, it's very tough to get a multimedia intern who can take care of everything that you're doing right now at production house. What we would like to do is convert video editing knowledge that you have, video production, customer relation or speaker stakeholder relationship management into an internship experience. And these students, whatever you would have taught them after you hire, they are trained even before you hire, 3 weeks prior, and we call it an internship. An internship experience with Galata Productions under Puneeth, supervised by Sapientury over 3-week period, and then they enter your interview room saying, hello sir, I know your company, these are your previous guests, these are the tools that you have used, I know how to use all of them, can you now hire me and pay me 15,000 rupees stipend? Obviously, they are way better than the ones that you hire from LinkedIn Hire or any other platforms. So that's what we do. And because we are enabling or opening the door for students, they are paying the fee for the first internship.
Or they're paying a fee for you?
Correct. They're paying a fee for doing the...
3 weeks.
Yes. They're paying for earning experience. Then they start earning the stipend. And our complete goal is to see how do we make them earn more stipend than the fee that they have paid for earning experience. That's how we work.
Yeah, because internships, I was just at the panel for PS's internship.
Okay.
3 weeks, one was heartbreaking.
Okay.
A lot of them just whiled away their time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you realize the fees you've paid and
Correct.
6 months you've wasted doing nothing?
Yes.
The cost of Netflix binging is not just that little amount of money that you're putting every month.
Correct.
And you'll not believe, Kushal, I think I saw they have to do a sort of a viva at the end of the internship with a report and everything, right?
Yeah.
All that excessive documentation. And out of like 30 students that I saw, you could see through like in the first minute or two that this student is just not saying nonsense.
True.
And the third minute they were like, oh shit.
Yes.
So I find most of the internships just a waste of time in India.
Yeah.
It's like moving paper or like doing menial things that are just not related.
Correct.
How bad is the internship problem in India right now?
I see that internships are highly opportunistic space for those who have done something on their own before they enter the internship interview room. But if they are the folks who are like finding an internship in places like BEML or HAL, these are not hands-on internships. They're just going out and, I've also been there. It's like a couple of sheeps going out.
Couple of sheeps?
Yeah, that's how I would see it.
Okay.
Brutally put. High respect to the organizations, but I'm speaking particularly on the internship as a program on how they conduct, right? So you're just going out, watching things. What it should be called is an industrial visit. But you do it over a 4-week, award them an internship only for them coming for 3 days and going around. That's not a good thing, right? So like this, if I look at our own database of number of people applying for internships, we see that around 30 to 40% of them hold pure fake internship certificates.
Oh yeah?
Fake internship certificates in Bangalore, you have a couple of places.
Uncle's office or their...
Oh, that's even good. Okay?
Their best friend's dad's office.
Yeah, that's even good. These are the folks who buy internship certificate, internship report, letter of recommendation, everything available in Espiro today.
They buy?
They buy it. You get end to end. And you also get...
It's a package.
It's a complete package. And you also get a very clear transcript. What are the possible Viva questions? What are the possible Viva answers?
God.
This is available out there in the market. You can just go buy it, pay anywhere between 800 to 2,500 depending on the type of marketing that these companies are doing. And it's all available in the market. And they just happen to read this and come. Now, as an internship supervisor or assessor, you don't know whether the student is having a bad communication skill and he's not able to put across what he has done during the internship, or he's actually gone through a fake internship certificate, and like it's very tough to evaluate. So the only way to do really good job is having a weekly journal, a weekly journal that an intern can report to the company, to the college, and themselves, and say, week over week, I'm growing. That's sort of something that we're trying to build at Sapientury.
Yeah, I think that's already there, where you get a signature for attendance and you get a remark and you write a comment.
But it is there. Students, it's all on paper.
You know what they do for that as well?
Yeah.
They basically take a picture of the signature of whoever is coordinating in the company, just like paste it through.
Yeah.
And they just like self-fill it.
Yeah.
So there is no accountability in the system at all. It is heartbreaking.
You know, we can always argue somebody can create a degree certificate like that, but they can't, right, today, because there exist tracking systems. Likewise, what we're trying to do at Sapientury is exactly that. They can't do that because nothing is written. Everything is time-stamped, everything is assessed, everything is proctored, every single signature that comes in. Everything is end-to-end encrypted. So whatever the recruiter puts, yes, is what he's filling. And it's also building the right systems, right? If we are running a company and we ask at the end of the month to the CEO of the company, consider me myself, what have you done every single day of the month? Can you give me a report? If my investor asks, I don't know. I have not made notes of it every single day. So I'm going to make up. And my investor won't ask me, they would ask me different questions. Likewise here, if we have a very fine understanding where the investor asks, I need your P&L statement, I need your balance sheet. These are noun things. So I'm going to keep it ready for sure from the beginning, because I have an accounting system put into place that categorizes every single invoice, every single purchase that we do. What do we have for students? We can't just ask them to say, hey, go fill it and come. Every time you do that, and you especially prolong it over a period of time, procrastination is bound to kick in. We live in a distraction world, and it's important that we give the systems that ask them every single day. And that's something that we do on a WhatsApp bot at Sapientury. It asks them, hey, these are your tasks for today. Have you completed? Yes, no. Can you give a complete summary of what you have completed? So they feel easy to fill it out and say, hey, these are some things that I've done. Now you ask them to collate it all at the end of the month. Well, they have a complete history that they themselves have filled. So I think it's important that we as educators treat interns like serious corporate professionals. If timesheet is what we care about, then there needs to be a place where they fill timesheet every single day, and a quick accountability check. Have they filled it today? How do we put it all together?
Yeah, I think that's getting somewhere better than what the situation is right now. You know, there's some of these companies that are just outright scam.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're just fleecing students, making 3 to 4 lakh rupees out of them in a month or two.
Yes.
And then just leaving them free.
Correct.
Doing in the name of remote work.
In the name
of... And I'm like, it's just such a messy place, the internship bit.
Yes.
It came from such a relevant, good place that you need real world experience.
Correct.
In parallel. But now you see so many shenanigans around it.
So true. It's one of the problems for Sapientury is positioning and credibility, because it's very differentiate ourselves when you say, hey, you have to pay for this. I'm like, why should I pay for internship? Another course comes and says, entrepreneurship, you have to pay 28,000. We are 1 out of 1,000 lucky winner gets to go to Singapore. Everybody is standing in a line paying 25,000 rupees for an entrepreneurship course. Course is giving the skills, but you don't have the experience required to go work in another company. But because of these other shadow companies who are just looting money, we have had our own tough time establishing credibility. But our credibility that we wear are the students who have gone through the internship. The number of people who have written down thanks for what we have done.
But
and
it's
the
such
people
a seasonal business. How do you make it a reliable source of revenue?
Not necessarily. COVID has really disrupted these timelines altogether. Different universities are running on different timelines per se.
There's no internship season sort of a thing?
Earlier we had summer, winter. Now it's like Bangalore, I would say, right? You never know when summer is there, when winter is there, when monsoon is happening.
How do you align it then?
No, we know their calendar schedules. We know which markets to enter at what time. We have a thorough understanding of market research. We have multiple WhatsApp communities as well, each built for each college. So we know when it's it's the exam time, when it's the internship time, and
But how
we
to
also
coordinate such different calendars of colleges with the calendars of limited number of companies that you're partnered with?
Oh, okay, great question. No, the companies are not looking to hire interns seasonally. They need interns all the time. They would love to have interns all the time. So these interns don't come for 2 months and disappear on the third month after you having to teach them a lot, right? So our recruiters keep hiring around the clock because we are not working with MNCs who have the concept of summer internship program. No, we don't have that. Most recruiters want you to even be there after college hours itself.
So these are small to medium enterprises or businesses that are recruiting these interns. Is that what I understand?
Thriving startups. A couple of them are Shark Tank startups as well. A couple of them most
And
of
do you
them
have
are.
a benchmark of minimum stipend that these have to
Yeah, 7,500.
is the minimum they have to
Yeah,
pay?
yeah.
And what's the minimum internship period?
Varies. I believe it has to be 2 months, but there are startups who even just need them for a month long, and this would be a seasonal requirement either on a campus ambassador program or lead generation or lead nurturing. It could be any of it, or sometimes it's just because Diwali sales are coming up and they want some folks to manage the sudden inbound queries that come.
Right.
So they'll have a lot of seasonal requirements as well.
And how much do they pay you for the 3-week training?
Anywhere between 4,500 till 6,500. But we put a direct comparison. You pay 4.5 lakhs to college. Do they guarantee you an internship? Do they guarantee you a job? You pay that 4.5K. That's 1% of what you're paying to the college. I guarantee you an stipend paying internship. So there is something that's more logically understood. But logic is not the missing piece in the puzzle. It's how many other black clouds are there in the market that's not allowing us to really stand up.
I want to do a quick round of rapid fire.
Yes.
What's a company would recommend as the gold standard for internship? Okay,
I really wish I can put one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's an internship hack? How to crack an internship on your own? If you had to give one hack.
Proof of work. Proof of work. You should have done something in the past. You bring saying, this is what I've done in the past. Now, if you pay me a few more bucks, I'm going to do it much better for you. So that's the way you do it.
What are 3 green flags in an internship?
After you join an internship?
Yeah.
After you join an internship, direct exposure into what the world is really looking for. Second, clear understanding what pays you and what you can't get paid for, and you should pursue as a hobby and not think of that as your main career. The third one, understanding how to work with teams who are focused on getting things done and not really teams just for the sake of pleasure.
And 3 red flags?
Okay, 3 red flags of an internship. Not everything in an internship gives you structured learning that you would get by taking a course. Second, if you're not getting into a good internship and you're stuck in the same internship for too long, if you are committed for too long, that could also be sort of a stagnation to you. Third, I think that should be it.
Okay, branded company internship or non-branded SME startup?
I would say growing startup. Could become a brand someday, but it should be a startup that's small, but they're growing in size or growing in market, growing in geography, growing in something. And you have to be one of the person writing the growth story for them.
Sales internship, yes or no?
A big yes. But you should not be in a sales internship that's all about cold calling. Sales internship where you're learning right from market research, market expansion, and focusing on lead nurturing and qualification, not cold calling.
Best place in SP Road to buy a package.
Yeah.
What's the latest or what's the best investment under 10,000 you've made? Gadget, gizmo, tool, technology that you'd recommend? Besides Sapientury.
On my table, I have a Pomodoro time clock. I keep turning it all a lot. It keeps me accountable on how much time I'm spending. You turn it and 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and that keeps you. I mean, it keeps ticking, and you keep looking at the clock. Oh, I've got only 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Because sometimes for the job that I'm in, I might end up dwelling into something for a little too long and might lose out some useful time. Happens a lot with students as well. I've been there. So that's something I would recommend. I think just around $800.
Yeah. What's a question you would want students to ask more around internships?
I think the bigger question is, what after college? What do I want to do after college? Not a one single answer question. This is 8 options, 9 options, 10 options. Do I know somebody who have been there in these 10 options, and what were their path getting there? What will be my path to get there? So if you are coming from BCA background and you need to have your 10 options and you need to have it figured out. And you have to keep investing, be it courses. Internships are the best way to invest. But if it's courses, if it is something, a project that you're doing, hackathon, keep investing. Career outcome is what your return on investment is, and it's going to go really high.
Best time in a college, maybe best time in the engineering time to do an internship?
First year.
First year?
First year, yes.
Oh.
You join college, you have the best energy, particularly if you're coming from an IIT JEE rat race, you work from morning 6:30 till 8:30. You don't know about...
So you have that work ethic.
Yeah, the work ethic is there, the hard work is there. You don't have the guts to say, there's not enough time in college. There's all the time in college because your college is running maximum 9 to 4 and you have the rest of the time to do your internship, which you have anyhow done for your rat race before in IIT JEE. Take the same energy for something that you love. Intern, it's something that you really would love to do. It could be something digital marketing, modeling, whatever that internship is. It's best to get started.
Interesting. What's the impact you seek to make with Sapientury?
Opening career doors for at least 1 million people. We have touched only 28,000 people so far.
So 10 lakh people.
Yes, yeah. 10 lakh people.
Nice. On that note, go and make some Galata.